Hi everyone, I'm CJ Papa, and welcome to another edition of the Met PGA Notebook. We're here at the gorgeous Old Oaks Country Club in Purchase, New York, the site of the Lincoln Met PGA Championship. And I'm joined by three tremendous golfers. We have Danny Balin. He's an assistant pro at Burning Tree up the road in Greenwich, Connecticut. The director of golf at the Golf Club of Purchase, that's Carl Alexander. And the man who is the head pro right here at Old Oaks, Bobby Hines. Guys, welcome so much to the program.
Thank you.
Now, Bobby, I think you're the best person to answer this question. The Lincoln Met PGA was here. How did you think the course held up against some amazing golfers from our area?
We were very pleased. Everybody here at the club, myself, the superintendent, and the members were very pleased how it played. One of the things I've said is a good golf course will give up scores when people play well, but we'll take them back when they play less than their best. And I think that's what happened here last week. Nick Bova came out with a 64 the first round. Members were panicking, oh, the course is too easy. But by the time the tournament was over, the course took its toll. And, only Danny was fortunate enough to be under par at the end.
Now, Carl, what did you think about coming here to Old Oaks and playing, and what did you think about the golf course?
Well, I was obviously excited to play here. We have had the U.S. Open qualifier here, the second stage, several times, and to host the section championship at a course that's been the next step right before the U.S. Open is pretty impressive. It's a classic golf course, so having grown up in this area, I felt pretty comfortable being on a golf course where you've really got to work the ball and shape it. You got some nice soft dog legs, you've got undulation without really blind shots, and the greens are just perfect. So Mark did a fantastic job of setting the course up, and I really felt like this was a good venue for our section championship.
And for Danny, he had a very busy week before the Lincoln Met PGA. Then he comes in and he wins the event. First of all, congratulations, Danny. How does it feel to win an event like this, and sort of how does it change your status and who you are and how people look at you as a golf pro?
Well, first off, it's great to be able to win. I've been close in a few Met events in the recent years, and to come here back to Old Oaks, where I spent a lot of time with not only Bobby, but Bobby's first assistant, Nick Maselli, who's a good friend of mine. So to come here and win was awesome. I know the golf course very well. I know where to hit it and where not to hit it. And on the greens here, if you get it on the wrong side, you can putt that ball a lot. And I was fortunate enough to put myself in good situations and to have a chance of making putts. So to come here and win was awesome. Going forward, it just gives me a little bit more confidence going into other tournaments that I play, not only in the area but throughout the country. And then hopefully going to Q School, it'll give me a little bit more confidence to try and get the job done this year.
Now, out on the West Coast, you had a moment to remember that even made it to ESPN's Sports Center. What was that like at the PGA Cup?
Yeah, I got a chance to qualify for the PGA Cup and represent our country. And this year they played at Cordoval, which is where they'll have the Fries.com Open this year. And this was the week before the Met PGA Championship, and it was just an unbelievable experience, capped off by a hole-in-one that I had on the 7th hole out there during a foursome match that we had. It was 183 yards down the hill, and I hit a little 7-iron against the wind. The wind was left to right, and the pin was on the left, so I tried to hold it up against the wind. And as most hole-in-ones are, there's a lot of luck involved, and I got lucky and got to be number 10 on SportsCenter that night. So that was pretty special.
Pretty impressive, but everyone wants to know, how many hole-in-ones have you had now?
That was my second hole-in-one, but had to be the best, competing for your country, making a hole-in-one on TV, pretty special. Something that will take away with me forever.
Now, Carl, you had a good tournament yourself.
Well, I'll tell you, the first round was great. I mean, to go out the golf course was, like I said, it was perfect. And, it was one of those things where you go out and you just felt like if you could keep it around par in the section championship like a U.S. Open, you're going to be right in contention. And I shot 1 under in the first round, gave a few back here and there, but certainly made some shots that I didn't necessarily count on, and came in and saw 64 on the board and thought, wow, this course gave up a lot more than I thought. Normally you finish a tournament and you think where the low score might be, and I didn't see that out there. So it kind of changed the view going forward, but I felt pretty good. I went into the last round with an idea of shooting a low number, and I got it started early. I got myself into a point where, coming down the stretch, I had a chance to win the tournament, and I looked at the board, I saw Danny on the top, and knew what I had to do, and unfortunately didn't get it done. But just being able to go out and play golf and be competitive and have a chance to win is always fun. As Danny said, having the opportunity to win is great. It doesn't happen all the time. So sometimes when you're working and you got a busy schedule, just even getting into contention sometimes is fun. And to go back to what Bobby said, hosting and playing well is really hard. I will tell you that. In Bobby's defense, it's really hard to host.
Well, he didn't play that bad.
No, he didn't.
Let's say
I've hosted,
he
and
could
it's
never
not
play that
easy.
bad.
Yeah, you got a lot of things to worry about.
You know, but you brought up something that I thought was pretty interesting. You said you put yourself in position to win.
You know, the fact is golf is so different in that only one person wins. You know, in any other team sport, 20, 35 guys come off the field, they won. In golf, it's one guy. So I try to tell my students that, you know, you've got to be able to finish a tournament, finish a round, and take away the positive things, because this game's tough and it can beat you up if you don't. So getting in contention means I go out with a game plan, I play to my game plan, and I get myself in position where if a few things had gone differently, I would have won, but I didn't, so I felt pretty good about where I put myself. And for an average member, you know, you've got to have realistic goals, and those goals can't always be just about the win.
It's just about the win. He's wrong. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, Danny, you had 69 in round one, and you see the 64 on the board. How do you sort of stay within yourself so that you don't force too much in that second round?
Well, the way I go about it is that you can't win it on the first day, you can't win it on the second day, but you can definitely lose it on those 2 days. So you just have to be around. And again, I was just as shocked as Carl was seeing that 64 up there. I've played here, you know, a ton of times, and I've never shot 64 out here. You shoot a couple under par, but to get off to a good start, shoot 1 under, give myself a chance to kind of be around the lead, and then go and back that up in the second round. And now I'm right there. So now the final day, I've got a chance. You know, if I play the way that I can, I put myself into a position in the first 2 rounds to be there on that last day. And you know, fortunately, I had a couple good bounces go my way, and you know, the rest was history.
There was one incredible bounce, right, on the 8th hole.
There
where
was,
you had
yes.
a
The final
eagle.
round.
Tell me about it.
I was 1 over going into the 8th hole, and it's actually one of the, I think, the hardest holes out there, and I've always had a problem with that hole. But I hit a good drive, got it in the fairway, and I think I had 143 yards to the flag, and I knew that you couldn't hit it over the pin, because if you did that on that green, you'd putt it right off the front. So I hit a pitching wedge out of the first cut of rough, and yeah, I hit it a little left, and just got a little bit of luck, and you know, that's what we need in golf to win and to have some good finishes.
And how does it feel to hold that trophy? I saw it in your cart before.
Yeah.
Are you driving around with it?
No, I brought it here today. It feels great. I finished second last year in it, and as well as the Met Open, I finished second. And I just, you know, I was right there, and I just, like I said, needed a couple good breaks to go my way, and fortunately this week, or this past week, they did.
You know, I think one of the things the Met PGA does so well, especially, you know, in the tournaments, is they have the breakdown of all the stats. And when you look at the 17th hole here, there are only 2 birdies in the 3 rounds. What made it so hard, 17?
Well, it's a perfect hole to pick for me. That was my demise right there. I mean, I think I was tied for lead or 1 shot back standing on 17. And in this case, the wind was coming out of the left to right. You've got out of bounds on the right with a bunker, and down the left side's really no place to hit it because you get blocked out by trees. You know, you've got to hit a really good long drive and keep it in play. If you lose it right, you're chipping out, and left is chip out. So and it fits the rest of the golf course. You have to hit a really good drive, and then your second shot's an uphill shot from, you know, maybe 180, 190 to a very tough green that's protected on the right by a bunker and out of bounds. So you really have to kind of pucker up and hit 2 solid shots there, and then you're not done. Then you've got to hit some putts. And with where the whole location was on the last day, you know, it was pretty challenging, to say the least.
We're going to go to a commercial break, but first we have a teaching tip for you that will hopefully help your game.
One of the great things about playing throughout the Met section is that you have these classic Tillinghast style golf courses. This 8th hole at Old Oaks is a perfect example. Sometimes maybe you've not hit a good enough drive to reach the green on your second shot, or maybe you're coming out of the rough. And one of the things you don't want to do is challenge the hole location and end up behind the hole. If you do, you typically only have one option, and that's a high flop shot to make the ball stop quickly. This here is a perfect example. If you would play the ball short of the green, not even trying to get it on, you're then left with options. different options to get the ball close. You could pitch the ball to the middle level and let it release up. You could hit a lower shot with an 8-iron and let it run most of the way, or you could even putt the ball and get it all the way up there and give yourself a better option at making 4, possibly 5, but taking 6 out of the equation. So I'll go ahead and hit a few shots and show you the different options that playing short of the green would allow you. First option would be a pitch shot. Rather than a high sand wedge, I would take a pitching wedge and pitch this to the middle level here, allowing the ball to roll. That option is not a hard shot, and it gives us a chance at getting the ball up close to the hole. Then I could take a lower lofted, like an 8-iron, and chip a shot really low, guaranteeing that I'm going to get it up to the top level. And lastly, which a lot of members do enjoy doing, which is putting from off the green, gives us the best option in hitting a ball, making sure we make solid contact and getting it onto the green. And all 3 options are really good, as opposed to being behind the green where you only have 1 option and you may end up down here for the next shot anyway.
If you think you have to trade power for fuel economy, think again. The 2012 Lincoln MKX. It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that.
PGA Tour player experience at TPC Sawgrass for you and 3 friends. Only from MasterCard.
Hey guys, what's the holdup?
First time? Yeah, actually it is. Yeah.
Making your time on the course last as long as you possibly can. Priceless. MasterCard World Elite cardholders now have access to select TPC courses. Book your trip today at pgatour.com/MasterCard.
Welcome back to the Met PGA Notebook. I'm CJ Papa. We're right back here at the Old Oaks Country Club in Purchase, New York, the site of the Lincoln Met PGA Championship, and it really was a tremendous field. You had some incredible players in it. You know, Keith DeCiani, who obviously won earlier this year, and you know, some other great names, Greg Bisconte. And when you're in a tournament like this, and you know the players, you see them all the time, but Carl, does it make you raise your level of play knowing that these guys are so good?
No question about it. You know, one thing's for certain, you can't make a lot of mistakes, if any at all, because if you do, you're not going to win. You know, you've got to have things going your way that day, and it's the other part is when you're playing, well, you have an opportunity to play with these guys. You're playing in the last group, and you know, that really breeds good playing within the group.
The better players that you play with, it definitely elevates your game. And over the last few years, having the opportunity to play with these guys, not only have I learned so much from them, but I've been able to take what I've learned and brought it to my own game on the golf course in tournaments.
Bobby, you're such an experienced guy. You've been in this section a long time. What is it about the quality of the professionals in this section that makes it stand out?
Well, our section, because we have an active tournament program, attracts the best professional players that are out there.
Well, I think first of all, the quality of our tournaments. We play some of the finest golf courses in the country, and we play for real purses. So I think you're going to find the quality golfers, professionals come here to play and compete. Secondly, I think in this section, unlike many other places in the country, we have an opportunity to play a lot of golf with our members. And our members are very successful people, and they push us to play better. We're playing with them and not only teaching them, but we're playing with them. And then lastly, I think there's just a love and a passion for this game in our area, unlike anything else. I worked in North Florida, and when guys were done in the shop and working, they'd pretty much go home. Here, Danny mentioned he had an opportunity to play here a lot. It's because he and other assistants would come over in the evening after working for 10 hours, and they would play golf till dark. And when you have that type of a breeding ground for players, you're going to get really good players.
Well, speaking of practice, well, lessons and practice makes a great golfer. And Bobby and Danny, you've been working together. What do you guys work on?
Well, Danny, like most young players, love to hit the golf ball, certainly has all the length he needs. Certainly he'll hit golf balls all day long, but Danny needed to learn how to score better. It's nice when you're playing great. Anybody can play good and score good. But when you're not playing so good, you've got to be able to salvage the round or take advantage of things that go on during the round. And I think of all the things that Danny and I have worked on, I think probably his short game, bunkers, chipping, pitch the ball, have allowed him to save rounds that were getting away from him or to take advantage of opportunities. So at the end of the day, he can walk off and feel like he came close to getting what he could out of his round, as opposed to the old days coming off and feeling frustrated, like, geez, I played pretty well. Why wasn't my score better? And I think my average member is the same. We all want to hit balls. Real money's around the greens, and I think that's what probably helped Danny as much as anything.
And Danny, is there one thing that you hear in your head when you're setting up for whether it's a key putt, a key chip around the greens that Bobby's told you?
Oh, there's a lot of things that I remember from him, and just being out here practicing with him. I remember during the Met PGA last week, I hit it on the 15th hole. I hit it in a bunker, and I've been working on my sand game with him, and I really opening up my right hand, and I hit this shot that he taught me that I probably never hit in a tournament before, and I was just so excited to hit this shot that I ended up getting it up and down, making par, which was key for my round, to keep my round going. And I just saw Bobby out there, and I went up to him and I said, "Bobby, did you see that? That was awesome," you know?
I'm here with Danny Balin in a bunker at Old Oaks Country Club. One of the hardest shots my members face here in our deep bunkers is getting out of the traps. Everybody wants to hit them close, but the first thing we want to accomplish is get the ball out and onto the putting surface. Danny's going to show you what we've worked on to help him do that and to help him hit that big shot he hit in last week's Met PGA Championship.
Yeah, one of the things that I've struggled with over the years is my bunker play, and not only just getting it out of the bunkers, but getting it close to be able to give me a chance to make a putt. So something that Bobby and I have worked on, because I believe Bobby is one of the best bunker players in our area, is first off our stance, how you approach the ball and how you stand getting ready to hit the shot. And the one main thing that Bobby and I have been working on is using my left leg as my pivot leg. So always getting into the bunker first with that left leg, digging that in and using that as my base, and then taking my chest and leaning my chest backwards. So again, left foot first, chest backwards, and then setting up to the golf ball and really opening the club face up with that right hand of mine, almost feeling like my right hand, when it gets back here, I can hold a tray. Again, take that stance, left foot in, chest back, take my grip, and really flaring that right arm open to get more loft on the club, to get that ball out quickly onto the green and land soft near the hole. And it's going to look something like this. Now, this doesn't come to you right away, so you need to practice. So get into to that bunker and hit some bunker shots before you go play.
One million moments, 9 exciting weeks, one summer to remember. Hot summer fun at Mohegan Sun. When it's your time to shine, come see us.
If you think you have to trade power for fuel economy, think again. The 2012 Lincoln MKX. It's not just luxury, it's smarter than that.
Welcome back to the Met PGA Notebook. We're here at Old Oaks in Purchase. Now, Danny, the Met PGA is not just about playing, and it's not just about teaching. There's also a fundraising aspect.
We trying to get all the assistants, as well as head golf pros, to try and raise money for junior golf. In this area, junior golf is big. We have a lot of kids that play. We have a lot of clubs with a lot of members that have kids, and we're trying to make golf a better game. So for us to be able to raise money for juniors that maybe don't have the capability of playing golf every day at a club or aren't a member at a club, to raise money to help them them be able to start the game and introduce them to the game is great. And myself and Carl's assistant or past assistant Corey Muller and Bobby's assistant Nick Maselli, we've joined together over recent years, and we've done a junior golf fundraiser called a golf marathon, where we play golf from sun up to sundown. And we try and get our members to raise money for how many holes we play, how many birdies we make, how many pars we make, the scores that we shoot. And then we take all that money and we donate it to junior golf, just to try and make golf a better game. And not only us, but there's other assistants in the area that have done this, especially Greg Visconti over at St. Andrews.
Now, we had a chance to catch up with Greg Visconti, and he spoke about the fundraising aspect of the Met PGA.
Over the years, the assistants have been asked to raise money for junior golf and all the programs, so the members at my club at St. Andrews have been very supportive of my playing career over the years, so I figured what better way than to tie in my playing with a fundraiser. So what we do is we go out, Ambry and I both play in tournaments throughout the season, and whatever birdies we make, the members have made a pledge, it's $1, $2, $3 or more per birdie. We total it up at the end of the season, and we come up with quite a bit of money these last couple of years for our juniors.
Bobby, what makes it unique in terms of hiring here in the Met PGA, and what are you looking for?
Well, as employment chairman or co-chairman in the Met section, when clubs are looking for golf professionals, we go and meet with them. Charlie Robinson, our executive director, myself, and maybe one or two other professionals, and we go in and we meet with the clubs. And a lot of times, pros have been at a job for a while, so the people who are now going to be given the job of hiring their next professional don't really have a lot of experience. They may have their experience in hiring people in their business, but hiring golf professionals is a little bit different because you're looking to fit a lot of needs. You're looking for somebody to run your golf program, tournaments, weekly tournaments, yearly events, run your teaching program, hiring teachers, having access to those teachers, juniors, big part of that. And a lot of times these members are, they're volunteers, they're giving their free time to help the club, but they're not experienced in it. So when Charlie and I and whoever goes in there, we try to educate them on how to go about looking. And at the end of the day, we come down to hire the guy you want to spend time with, hire the lady you want to spend time with, hire that person that has the skills that you need, but mostly hire that person that is going to be there with a smile when you come in, after a bad round, or a smile in the morning when you're looking forward to your round of the day. And that's what we try to bring to the clubs. At the end of the day, you're hiring a person. He needs skills. We train them in their skills, and they, add on through their own job performance, learning more skills to, to adapt them for that particular club.
Carl, can you sort of build on what Bobby just said? Because, as a director of golf, I'm sure you're looking for a sort of specific type of person, and what goes into that, and what advice would you give a young person, wanting to be a club pro eventually, when they want to get into the business?
Well, I think the first advice I would give is take every opportunity to attend all the educational programs, all the meetings, and all the tournaments, because in the end, it's a networking program, and you've got to meet people. It's very difficult to hire somebody off a resume and just seeing it on paper. You typically, if you've had an opportunity to meet somebody and spend some time with them, you're going to get a good feel for them. We have a really nice network where we can just pick up the phone and call somebody and find out where they worked and what type of a person they are. But again, I think it comes down to the training that they've had at whatever clubs they were in. And my suggestion is always try to move around to different types of clubs so you get different experiences at the various types of clubs that we have. So it's quite a process, and it is probably one of the more important things that we do. We've also had great educational programs with great mentors like Tom Neaporti, Gene Borak, John Kennedy, guys who have been in the business for quite some time and who get together and have fireside chats and will speak to assistants and professionals about what it's like to be in the business and how to be successful.
Besides all the great lessons that you guys can give, there's also player development, and Danny, what goes into that?
Yeah, there's a lot of things with player development, and it has to do a lot with junior golfers as well as our regular members in the area. We're not only trying to make them better players, but we're trying to get them to play more golf and just to be around the clubs more, to interact with the other members, as well as to interact with the pros, and just try and have a great environment for the members of clubs to come out to their clubs and have a great experience. And I know there's a lot of people in this area that do it, and I know one guy especially, the head golf professional at PGA Rotella, Mike Laudine, has been great at that, especially this past year.
We actually had a chance to catch up with Mike Laudine, and he spoke about player development.
At Rotella, we offer several programs. We have a junior golf camp we run for 9 weeks straight throughout the summer. We have the Get Golf Ready program. We offer that. We did it Saturday mornings, Wednesday evenings. That's a group session. And also we offer the PAL, Police Athletic League. We get behind them. We offer a clinic. It runs 5 weeks long, spring and fall. And also we have the Special Olympics every Thursday evening for an hour, hour and a half on Thursday nights.
You guys also run some seminars. And Carl, what type of seminars do you have?
Well, we do many seminars for the professionals, but one that I'm particularly proud of is the teaching tip seminars, where professionals from the entire Met section get together on sort of a round table. We meet sometimes here at Old Oaks on the driving range, and we just share teaching tips ideas that we've helped members with and that they've come back and had success with, and we spread it out so that other professionals can go out and help their members.
Yeah, you know, Carl mentioned the seminars and teaching tips, and I know you guys have a wealth of knowledge to share. And right now, you can enjoy it and also improve your game if you listen and practice.
Today I'm going to give you a little tip on alignment for practice purposes when you're on the driving range and also on the golf course. I have a little different way of doing it. Everybody usually puts down a club or 2 clubs for alignment, but I always like to add a 3rd club. This is a tip I've worked on with Johnson Wagner, who I've been fortunate enough to work with on the PGA Tour, to get him focusing more on his line, not just his lines of his feet. Okay, so what we do is we put 2 clubs down parallel to give him his target lines for his feet, but then we put a 3rd club out in front of his ball to show him the actual direction he's hitting in. So when he stands into his golf ball, not only does he have parallel lines to set up to the ball on, but he has a target line that he can think more down the line rather than get stuck in this little box. Because at the end of the day, the reason we're hitting a golf ball is to get it in a direction, and we really want to do a lot more thinking about out there where we're going and not get lost in here where we're over the ball. Okay, so when you're practicing, you can use the golf clubs with the alignment club out in front to help you see your direction. But when you're on the golf course, if you look down the tee line, you can usually see where the mower has mowed in the parallel lines, and you can use those for the same effect when you do not have the advantage of being able to put down the clubs. And if you have any questions about this, see your local PGA professional.
Guys, it really was a tremendous time to be out here with you. Bobby, Carl, and Danny. Hey, congratulations on winning the Lincoln Met PGA. Really 3 great guys who know a lot about golf, and let's hope that you take their lessons and you improve your game. That'll do it for us right here in the Met PGA Notebook. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's going to be a long, cold winter, so get out there and hit balls at your local driving range. Find a PGA Pro over the winter and keep your game in shape. And thanks so much for watching us.